Hello guys, it's me Riyadh, an English teacher. This is another video devoted to fourth year students and to those who have a problem with writing a chart report. If you're interested and you want to find out more, please continue watching this video. Before getting started, let me remind you of what this four-part series is about. In the first video, we talked about the different elements of writing a good article. In the second one, we learned how to write a biography. In the third video, we talked about how to write an advert, and today we will learn how to write a chart report. You will find the links to the videos in the description box below. As today's video is on writing a chart report, it would be beneficial to identify the different types of charts you might have in the exam. You can be asked to write a report about a bar chart, a line chart, a pie chart, or a table. In this video, we will provide you with some tips and tricks on how to write a good and coherent report. We will go over this sample report and identify its parts. As you can see, the report contains three parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. This is something students need to keep in mind. Every type of writing contains an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Let's go over the introduction and identify its parts. You need to include four parts. First, you should identify the type of the chart, whether it is a pie chart, a line chart, a bar chart, or a table. Then you should state what the chart is about, in other words, the content of the graph. To make things easier for you, I have prepared some useful expressions that you can use. For example, you can say the given, the supplied, the presented, the shown, the provided to start your introduction. Then you should identify the type of the graph, which can be a table, a pie, a bar graph, or a line graph. Then you use one of these verbs as illustrates, shows, depicts, or presents information about to identify the content of the graph. So for this chart, we can say the given pie chart illustrates the reasons for not going to school. Once done, you should identify the source of the chart and where it is or was taken from by using the following verb, to be taken from, and its period of time by using this expression over a period of years. For this chart, we can say this pie chart is taken from the UNESCO Institute for Statistics over a period of 5 years from 2000 to 2005. The final part of the introduction is devoted to giving an overview about the data you have in the chart. You should state the highest and the lowest percentages without giving any data. To do that in an appropriate way, you can use one of these expressions, such as at first glance, it is crystal clear, a glance at the graph reveals that, at the onset, it can be clearly seen that, it is obvious that. To contrast between these different trends, you need to use meanwhile, while, whereas, however, or but. Our example for this chart is, at first glance, it is crystal clear that working in the household encompassed the highest percentage, while the lowest percentage went for the lack of interest in learning. Let's recap the different parts of the introduction. To start with, identify the type of the chart, state what the chart is about, state where the chart was or is taken from and its period of time, and finally give an overview by stating the highest percentage and the lowest percentage without any data. Here is the introduction. The given pie graph, which is taken from the UNESCO Institute for Statistics, illustrates the reasons for not going to school over a period of 5 years from 2000 to 2005. At first glance, it is crystal clear that child labor encompassed the highest percentage of children who dropped out of schools. Meanwhile, the lowest percentage was the lack of interest. In the body, you should give more specific details and group data together where there are patterns. According to this chart, we can make these three groups. The percentages of these groups are similar. So group number one, the first one is the need to work in the household and the need to work in the field. The second group is too far away, too expensive, and low grades. And finally, the last group is not interested. To do that, you need to learn two important words. The first one is to account for, which means to form the total of something. The second one is respectively, which means of two or more items, with each relating to something previously mentioned in the same order as the first mentioned. Let's make some examples with these words. For example, I can say the need to work in the household and the need to work in the field accounted for 27% and 25% respectively. So 27% goes for working in the household and 25% goes for working in the field. I can also say the long distance, the high cost of school supplies, and the low grades accounted for 19, 14, and 12% respectively. To make your paragraph coherent and well presented, and to maximize your chances of getting the full mark, you should use transition expressions like, to begin with, the first point I would like to start with is, you use this expression to introduce the first point. Another point worth mentioning is, we use this expression to introduce the second point. And finally, you complete the third point. Here is the final paragraph. As you can see, the expressions in yellow are useful expressions and templates that you can use to present your data and write a coherent paragraph. So let's read it. To begin with, the first point I would like to mention is that the needs for working in the households and working in the field had the highest percentages, which accounted for 27% and 25% respectively. Other points worth mentioning are the commute to school, the high costs of school supplies, and the low grades, which accounted for 19, 14, and 12% respectively. However, 3% of children were not interested in going to school. Once done with the body part, you move on to the conclusion, which is the last part. After presenting these data, you draw a conclusion. And it goes as follows in this example. To sum up, after considering all the data mentioned above, we can conclude that the need to work is the major reason why these children dropped out of school. As usual, after explaining the way we write a chart report, we give the students the opportunity to practice what they have learned. The chart below gives information about regional distribution of children who are out of school from the year 2001 to the year 2002. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. On the left side, you have some useful expressions for each part of the report. Write your answer in the comment section below and I will correct it for you as usual. That's all for me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and also to make sure to subscribe to our channel so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. I'm looking forward to interacting with you guys. And if you find this video interesting, please share it with your friends and send it to as many of your friends as possible so that they can make the most of it. Thank you so much. Love and peace, Riyadh.